Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris and today we're getting a little bit glam. We have a couple of new products to show you from the MAC Cosmetics Frosted Fireworks collection. I've got some highlighters, I've got some eyeshadows, so there's a lot to kind of unwrap and explore. And you know, we've been in a pandemic for quite some time, 7-8 months now we've been kind of cooped up inside. So it is time for you to get glam. So there's no better way of getting glam than getting glam with somebody else. So if you're interested to see how I created this look today, then keep on watching. So today I'm going to start with the eyes first. I generally always start with the eyes first, so it gives me an opportunity to clean everything up before I go ahead with the foundation. I tend to have a drier skin type, so when I can, I avoid using powder. And because I avoid using powder, if I get any fallout, it's stuck there forever. There's no way of fixing it. So that's always what I choose to do. And to go in with today, I'm starting with my primer, which is a Painterly paint pot from MAC Cosmetics. And I'm taking that on a duo fiber brush. So this is a Morphe M430. But you can use any sort of fluffy brush to bring on your primer. And we're doing that right from the lash line to the brow. So when applying your eye primer, it's always best to get a nice, thin, equal layer over your whole eyelid. If you use too much product, what you'll find sometimes is that the primer works completely opposite to its intention. So if you use too much, you will find that you will getting creasing and movement of the eyeshadow throughout the day. So keep it nice and thin. So to kind of finalize the prep stage and kind of give the eyeshadow a little bit more depth, I'm going to take a Fluid Line gel liner. This is in the color Dip Down, but any sort of dark brown. You can even use a black if you're daring enough to kind of just begin the crease work. Taking the exact same brush, I'm going to take a tiny amount on my brush and we're going to work that right into this outside corner. Now it doesn't have to be too intense, and what you'll notice is I take this color kind of a little bit higher right here in the inner corner, and I do that because I've got a slightly hooded eyelid. So if I was to work really only in the deep crease, when I look straight on, you wouldn't see it. So I tend to bring it a little bit higher right here beside the bridge of the nose. So part of the Frosted Fireworks collection from MAC Cosmetics, all of the colors are in the Extra Dimension formula. So quite shimmery, quite frosty. So I'm going to accompany that with this palette here. This is the Art Library palette in Flamboyant, and this is going to give me my mattes and my neutrals to kind of give me that full glam fantasy that I'm looking for. So starting off with this color here. This is called Data Issue. Data Issue, reading things upside down. And I'm going to take that on just a 217, so just a medium-sized fluffy brush. And we're going to use that to kind of create the shape of the eye. So, starting here at the outside corner, kind of going over that dip down, we're going to start really lightly creating the shape. So when I'm applying this eyeshadow into my crease, I'm keeping a very, very light touch. You'll notice that my hand is a lot further back on the brush, so I'm really controlling the brush from the back, and that's going to ensure that I get a very nice blend. Okay, so taking this color here, this is called Dallywood. I'm going to follow the shape using the exact same brush that I've already made, but this time the color's not going to go quite so far out. So you'll notice when I start each eyeshadow, or whether I pick up more eyeshadow, I always tend to start in the first place, and that's right here on the outside corner. By doing that, I'm depositing the most amount of color there, and for me that's no problem because I want the most intensity on that outside corner. So I start there and then I start to bring it in. A good trick as well for anyone who has a hooded eyelid is also to kind of drag your eyeshadow outwards. So we want to kind of clear that fold at the outside corner, and that's always going to be a very flattering shape. Moving along, let's take this darkest brown color here, and this is called Embark. And I'm taking that on a smaller brush. I'm going to go in with a Morphe M514. I'm starting right here, tapping on that outside edge, almost making a smoky liner effect. And just, now we're getting right into that deep crease. So, time for the sort of the main event. So I have quite a few different colors of the Frosted Firework eyeshadows, and these are extra dimension foil eyeshadows. Because we're going glam, I'm going to stick with this one. It's just called Sparktacular, and it's a sort of very cool toned champagne color. Now, I've tried these a couple of different ways, and I tend to find with this sort of eyeshadow formula, like a lot of eyeshadow formulas that are shimmers nowadays, that they work best with the finger. So just taking some on my finger, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start applying that right onto the space on the eyelid where there is no eyeshadow. And as you see here, it's very, very similar to my skin shade, so it seems quite nude for me. Taking that color Dollywood, I'm just going to tap now between the Sparktacular and that darkest Embark color, just to help us create a bit of transition between the two. So what we've done on the top, we now want to repeat on the bottom. So taking a little bit more of that Painterly Paint Pot, I'm just going to run that underneath the eye. And this time I'm going to take a 239 brush, and instead of starting from lightest to darkest, we're going to start from darkest to lightest. So I'm going to take some of that Embark color, and right at this outer corner, I'm really going to sort of stamp it in between my lashes. Next, taking that Dollywood and kind of using the Dollywood to kind of come a little bit further in, but also blend out a little bit of the Embark color. And then we're going to go in with that Data Issues and kind of just wrap that right around, and that's going to give us a nice, beautiful, smoky effect. All right, time for some liner. And when we talk glam makeup, for me, that means a wing liner. So I'm going in with this. This is a brushstroke liner in Brush Black, also from MAC. And starting in the middle, we're going to just do a liner. Now for this, you don't have to be too precise, because we're going to go ahead with that 239 brush and a black eyeshadow. Can be any black. I'm using Carbon from MAC. Oh, what in the world is that? And we're just going to stamp along that edge, making a nice smoky liner. This is a great idea if you're kind of still learning how to do a cat liner, because if you make any mistakes, you can just smoke it out and it all looks amazing. If you're having problems blending out the black, you can always go ahead with one of the other colors that we've used in this eye makeup to kind of help that transition. But for me, we've got this nice sultry, a little smoky, a little blurred, but still quite defined wing liner, which personally, chef's kiss for me. Now let's go ahead and put in a little bit of an inner corner highlight. We could take, of course, that Sparktacular color as well, but there's another one that I want to try out, and that is this one here. This is Cooler Than Being Cool, and it's a white shimmer with a bit of a pink and purple reflect. Let's try that out. Oh, yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Take a little bit of that Sparktacular just next to that to kind of give it a nice blend. You don't want it to be a weird line between the two. All right, I'm gonna go do some mascara, some lashes, do the other eye, and we'll come back, and then we can go ahead and finish the rest of the face. All right, and we're back. So, eyes are all done. Let's go on to the rest of the face. So, to prep, I'm going to take the Bobbi Brown Enriched Face Base. I think we've all heard of this now. It just is a really thick cream that works great as a primer. I'm just going to use my hands to kind of work that into the skin. And it has a really nice sort of citrusy, lemony smell, which I personally love. For foundation, I'm going to take the MAC Face and Body Foundation. It's one of my all-time favorite foundation types because it works for just about anything. And we start working that into the skin. What I really like about this foundation is you can really build it up, so you can keep it really natural for every day, or if you want a bit more, you can do a bit more. And it just evens everything out. So as we speed along to the holiday season, what are you all planning to do? Are you going to kind of stay at home with just your immediate family, or are you going to kind of keep everything going as you normally would every year? Are there certain traditions that you have that you will just maintain throughout this season, or will you kind of change it up completely? I know for us, my husband normally has to work on Christmas, but because of all of the different sort of precautions that are being taken at the moment, there is a chance that he might not be working on Christmas, just because so many different businesses are closed here in the Netherlands. So we'll be very curious to see, but even so, I don't think that we will be doing a lot this year, purely for the fact that you know, we don't want to take the risk, not so much for ourselves, but more for our immediate family. You know, we have you know, parents and things like that are, you know, getting into a high risk category, and it's not really worth the risk, I don't think. I mean, everybody's personal in their own opinions, but for me, I'd rather wait until things are a little bit more safer for everybody. Taking a slightly smaller brush, I'm going to go in with Pro Longwear Concealer. I use the color NW20. It's a really, I mean, it's a great concealer. You know, I've tried a ton of different concealers, and I've just kind of rediscovered this one, and it's impressed me again, so I'm really enjoying it. I'm using a 159S brush from MAC to just work it down, because it's still fluffy enough to kind of blend it out into the foundation, but it's not too fluffy that you're not going to get any coverage. Look at the difference between the sides, huh? I'll do a little bit here on the chin, just because it tends to be a little bit more red for me. And on the nose, I tend to do a little bit. For me, it's not so much about getting that pinched nose, but it's more about just getting rid of the redness. So I tend to kind of really just fade it down, fade it up, don't drop a brush. We're looking a little bit ghostly, so I take this. This is a foundation stick, Studio Fix foundation stick, but I like to use the color NW50. I'm just gonna go ahead with that original buffing brush and just run it over, and that way I get a really nice warmth on the skin without it looking too much. Work it into the hairline. And remember, you can always add more, but the takeaway is, frankly, it's a bitch. It really is a lot more difficult to take away than what it is to add more. So kind of take your time in this step. And make sure you're looking nice and blended. Alright. Taking some loose powder, I'm using the Studio Fix Perfecting Powder. It's a really nice, it's a setting powder. Really, really light. I'm gonna run that kind of here, just a little bit over the cheek area, because I want to go in with a blush, but I don't want it to grab onto that wet foundation. And I tend to do here just a little bit around the mouth, because yeah, so someone in their 30s, lines keep popping up, so it tends to crease. You shouldn't really see the powder, it's not really there to be seen. So I'm going to take a blush. This is Mocha from MAC. You see we're having a bit of MAC trend today. I'm going to work that in really subtly into that sort of bronzer color, just to give just a hair of color. I don't want it to be overwhelming, but I want it to be fresh and alive. Now in the Frosted Fireworks collection, there's also 2 highlighters, which excites me to no end, I can tell you. And there's this one here, which is called Flair for the Dramatic, a super beautiful bronzy color. There you go, you can really see that. And then the other one is this one here, which is called Let It Glow, a very white silver color. Oh, this is so beautiful. Let's do this one because, hey, I am pasty enough, and I'm going to add it to the high points of my cheek. Now I tend to do my highlighter a smidge lower because we see here, let's call them lifelines, shall we? Are starting to rear their ugly head out. So if I put it too high, when I smile, you're going to see it. It's either that or stop smiling. It's one of the two. But that is pretty. That is very pretty. Really working it into the skin. Let's do a little bit here above the Cupid's bow. I like to do a little bit here between the brows, but just a hair. And then I also like to do just here above the beginning of my brow. Placement of this highlighter seems to change with my mood. It used to be out here, then kind of right at this highest point, and now I like to do it here to kind of bring the center of my forehead a little bit to the front. Kind of gives you that like, oh, I just had Botox effect, which you know, we're in a pandemic, is a little bit more difficult to get to those appointments. All right, so there's sort of 4 lipsticks and a lip topper. There's this white color, which is called Once Bitten Eye Shy, and it is, yeah, for me it's more of a topper. You get a nice amount of sort of glow. It's got a little bit of a glitter particle in it, but it's more for me as a topper, or if you have a no makeup day and you just want a little bit of something for your lips. The rest are in this sort of very berry color family, which is really, really beautiful. Focus on them, not on me. My favorite, without a doubt, is this one here. This is called Out With A Bang, and it is the most beautiful sort of, yeah, cranberry color. It is so nice with a really nice shine in it. Yeah, I'm going to use a lip gloss because I want us to keep in the nudes. They've got a couple of shimmery different lip glosses, and then they have one sort of opaque color. As I search desperately, I might be able to find it. Here it is. This is it here. It's called Twinsies, and it is the perfect sort of nude lip gloss color. So I'm going to take a couple of lip pencils. The first lip pencil I'm going to take is this one, which is called Stone. And I'm going to use this just, let's see if I can stay in frame. I use it just outside the lip line to give a bit of a lip contour. You see it's quite a cool tone brown. So when I start laying the next color, which is Soar lip pencil, an absolute staple. If you don't have it, you need it. It's the perfect sort of lip color. And now I'm gonna sort of start layering the two together. And you see now that Stone color is quite subtle, but it gives a little bit of a gradation. And then when we go over top with the gloss, it's just gonna melt everything together. So, last step, just to give us a little bit more sultriness, is I'm going to take one of the new eye pencils. This was also part of the Frosted Fireworks collection. This is in the color Dark Spark and Bitter in Glitter. And I'm going to run the brown color just here on the outside of the waterline. And it's just going to give us a little bit more of that sultriness. If you want to go a little bit more dramatic, then go ahead with the black. Not a problem. Alright, and there we have it. The final look. Feeling a little glam, feeling a little happy. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you got something from it. Definitely there are some hits in this Frosted Fireworks collection. This Sparktacular. Very pretty. You could wear it every day, or you could save it for special events. Both the highlighters I really like, and the lip gloss twinsies I think are so pretty. And this Out with a Bang lipstick. You know, if you wanted my recommendations of what I would get from the collection, it is those things there. All of them are just so beautiful on the skin. So if you haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button, drop a comment down below on what products you think you would want to get from the collection, and don't forget to click that subscribe button. I really appreciate it, and anything that I can do or what you'd like to see from me, absolutely let me know. Thank you once again. Stay safe, stay positive, and never ever forget that you are one of a kind. Bye!